we won't allocate resources, we won't plan. So the data entails now registration of persons with disabilities. And the council, the entity that registers persons with disabilities in this country. For you to access opportunities and services, you must be registered with the government. But before, to register a person with disability in this country was cumbersome and very painful and long. It is so centralized that the signature of Director of Medical Services at Afi House instructs council now to register that person. But quite recent, in the last 1 or 2 years, closely we have worked with the COG, and thanks to the COG Secretariat and the governor, especially Governor Mudomi, the chair of the Health Committee, we managed, together with other stakeholders, to come up with assessment guidelines, and we moved the signature now from Nairobi to put it to the hands of county directors of health and county directors of medical services in counties, so that the counties now can register. They put the team, they set the assessment centers so that it can be registered from the level 5 to level 4. In that guideline that is developed by Ministry of Health as a policy guidelines, let me put it that way, it has certain functions in it that the county government, because health is devolved, can take up. So the question is, have counties really taken that far? The issue of, accessible assessment centers, putting, equipment in place, devolving further to the ward, that's the last mile, such kind of a thing. Because data is critically a very important thing. And then the other issue, which is core mandate of council, is disability mainstreaming. Recently, March this year, we released the first report on the status of disability inclusion in Kenya, where we are only looking at the national government. And we shared that report quite very gladly with the Senate to help us how it can be a resource in their role as oversight, legislation, or representation. I'm glad to say I'm sharing this podium with Senator Mumo, who shared one of the session, when we presented that report. That report clearly brings out the level of employment. The Public Service Commission put 1.5% of Kenyan workforce are persons with disability, an improvement of 0.2% from the previous year. And if you look at this job, and it is gone further details into it, it's just low-level jobs. And by the way, let me say, I'm the only CEO with disability in Kenya. Na mimi niko nyumbani, pale ya walemavu. So when you go down, it looks like, we are not doing so well. So this report clearly brings out, a glaring image of where we are insofar as inclusion and employment is concerned. Some counties, 21 actually, up from 17 in the previous devolution 2, 21. They don't have MCS with disabilities. And this is a constitutional kind of a requirement. And if they are not there, they say the wearer of the shoe is the one who pinches. Feels where it is pinching harder. So the issue of disability becomes now at margins or at peripheries. That's why, as a council, we started working with MCS, especially caucuses of MCS with disabilities, members of parliament, they call it Kediba with disability, but more importantly, all friends in the disability space, how they can help us, that disability is a cross-cutting agenda and is not a function of national or county. It is a business of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harun, and indeed, disability mainstreaming is a responsibility for all of us. Let me come to you, Madam Anna Mutavati. UN Women is the organization dedicated to gender equality and women's empowerment, and you work across all governance aspects